Hello and welcome to the session on Canadian criminal law. It's been a while that I've done a session on how to solve these exam papers. Apologies for the delays. Some of you are here who have spoken to me in between your exams, and I have had the opportunity to speak to people individually and I have a conversation on how to write papers. But I will do one session each every weekend. So I've already covered Canadian constitutional law, which is already uploaded on YouTube. Today we are going to discuss how to prepare for Canadian criminal law and what are the do's and don'ts. And in the next week we'll take another subject, and I believe December's have no exams, so this entire month you can from November to December you can look at all the exams, the approaches you have to take, and then decide how to prepare or write your exams the next year starting January. So having said that, if you guys have any questions, please raise your hand. There's a hand symbol in the Google Meet. Just raise that and I will take your questions one by one. And I'm going to start now with Canadian criminal law. So Canadian criminal law is a very vast topic. It's endless. There's, like your respective jurisdictions, there is the criminal code itself, there is criminal procedure, there are other criminal acts, criminal law based acts, which would be specific to, let's say, substance control or prevention of child abuse, etc. And all of those laws also of course overlap in the criminal code, but there are certain a lot of criminal laws that are applicable in the Canadian jurisdiction. But we don't have to get into everything for the purposes of NCA, because if you're doing it for your own knowledge, that is amazing. But the most important thing for NCA, hi John, yes, the session is being recorded and I will be uploading it on YouTube as well, so you guys can review it again, and it will be available for the people who are not able to attend the session because of different times. So I was saying that the material that has been mentioned in the syllabus, that is your Bible for this exam. If you're doing extra, that is good for you. Any knowledge for lawyers like us is always beneficial in the future when we practice. But with regards to NCA, you will only get questions from the syllabus. So focus on the syllabus, learn the syllabus. Remember the syllabus. You don't have to, of course, mug it, but you should know that okay, these are the things that are coming in the syllabus, and I have to cover all the topics because question can come from anywhere. So broader topics would be offense, sentencing, defense, review, appeal. These are the broader topics. And when you look at the syllabus, you will see a lot of things. I've just noted these things down so that I can quickly talk about them. You have subjects, topics like sources, offenses, and then you have so many elements like actus reus, mens rea, possession, causation, omission. You have willful blindness, intention, different kinds of mens reas, and then you have different kinds of offenses, which would be regulatory offenses, corporate association liability, and so on and so forth. But thing is that you won't get a specific question that okay, tell me what is willful blindness, or what is intention. Things would be given to you in a fact-based patterns. Saad, if you can turn off your camera, it'd be great. A lot of movement is happening and I'm getting a little distracted. So I was saying that the questions will be given to you in a fact pattern thing, and you will have to look at what are the relevant elements or relevant topics you have to cover in your exam. So when you read a question, maximum times the question would be talking about, giving you a lot of confusion in terms of these are the facts, this happened, so and so and so and so, and then while reading the questions you will have to pick the right things you have to talk about in the answer, because 80% of the times the question is there to build a setup, and then they give you the relevant part that you have to actually focus on. So imagine a question like where they're talking about, let's say, if the person will face a charge of, let's say, first degree murder. So now in the whole thing you have okay, I have to talk about first degree murder, but in order to talk about first degree murder, what else do I have to cover? Is there a conversation of defense happening in the question? Is there a conversation of offense happening in the question? Is there a conversation of, and then you have to touch upon all the elements, actus reus, mens rea, the which kind of mens rea will apply. You have to cover any other, facts that they have given in the question. So that is the reason why you have to understand all the concepts of criminal law and the syllabus that is mentioned here, because every question that comes in the paper will be from these topics only. They will not give you a question which will not have relevance or association with regards to the syllabus. So they will be completely in the syllabus. Nothing is coming out of the syllabus. That is the thing that you have to remember when you are studying for these exams. So if and some of you have already got my notes, and if you go to the IRACs, you will see that a lot of offenses or a lot of questions, let's say if you're talking about, let's say, the defense of duress, you have to talk about the rule. Now, if a question comes where it says, okay, this person has murdered somebody, but this person was under duress, and then this person did the murder because that person felt like if he didn't do the murder, he would be himself killed or whatever. This is a sample question, I believe. You're going to talk about duress, but you also might talk about other elements if it's relevant. So it's not like you only talk about duress. There may be a question, and you have to look at the question's weight. Is it 20 mark, 25 mark? Is it just 10 marks? What is the weight of the question? And then you have to take a decision in the paper. Should I only talk about the defense, or should I start from the elements of the offense and then bring in the defense and then do a analysis together? So these are some things that you will have to take a decision during the exam, and you can always practice this with a sample paper, but attempt the sample paper once you're done with the reading of the whole course. That way you will also understand that how much clarity you have in terms of the topics, and do you know that which element or which offense or which defense elements will be covered under which kind of a question. Now, in criminal law, I have personally not seen any theory-based questions. They normally have 1 to 6 questions with weightage between 10 to 25 marks, and depending on those weightage, you have to decide in the paper that how much time are you going to spend on a particular question. So if it's 10 marker, I don't know, depending on your speed and depending on the approach you can take, you have to decide how much time I will give to a particular question, and you have to divide your time in certain minutes. Like when you see your question exam, you see, okay, there are, let's say, 4 questions each 25 mark, then you have to decide that, okay, I will be giving 45 minutes to each, and then at the end, whatever time is left, to just revise and see if there's anything I would like to add. If you don't cover the answer in 45 minutes, you should move on to the next question, so that by the end of the paper, you should not leave anything in the exam, because it's not a case where they'll see your answer as incomplete and they'll give you 0 marks. They will give you marks stepwise. They'll see, okay, this person has picked the right facts, this person has given the right rule, this person has given the right application, and for example, if you missed the conclusion because of less time and you moved on to the next one, you'll get some marks for your first question. But if you miss the complete question only because of time issues, then you have 0 marks for that question. So you have to keep that also in mind. Now, there are the way you have to prepare for these exams is you have to have your markings in your criminal code, in your notes, in your material source. So if you're studying from notes, mine, someone else's, or the books as the original source, the Kent Roach and Steve Cohen, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the other name right, but these original source materials which are mentioned in the syllabus, then you have to like 100% mark them with flags, because these are thick books, and even the notes for that matter, 100 200 pages are enough for a person to get confused that where is the source, where is this topic in the paper. Because in 3 hours, if a question comes to you and you feel like it's not mentioned in an IRAC, and if you have not prepared your own IRAC, you have to go to the criminal code, or if you have to go to the book to find the relevant topic, then you're going to waste very, very, very precious time. So in the paper, you have to have everything marked, highlighted, flagged. Yes, John, please.
Oh, hi. Achal, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So when you said that we have to put the stick mark or the sticky notes on this, let's say, 400, 500 pages of books, of couple of books. Can we use your PDF material as a go-to reference during your exams?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you are taking my PDF material, you don't need the books. You don't need the Steve Cohen or Ken Roach books, because I have prepared those materials from the books. Because when I was writing these exams, I had all the time in the world. It was peak pandemic, so I had no court, no office to go to. So I was like, in my mind, I knew I could see the gap where everyone, all my colleagues at that time, were also completely clueless. We were running around trying to find where are the books, where is the source material. People who were selling notes or classes were so expensive that we couldn't afford it, because no one was earning money at that time, remember. So my notes covered everything. So I'm saying, for the people who decide to not buy the notes and want to study from the source material, because there are some people who say, I want to practice in Canada and I want to learn everything. I don't want to miss, or I just focus on NCA. I want to do everything in one shot. For those
okay,
people,
that makes
yeah, yeah.
okay, that makes sense. The question is this, Achal. So let's say if we are going through your PDF or through any other PDF from any other source, can we search on that PDF notes with the catchphrase of the question?
No, no, no. You cannot, because you cannot sit in the exam with digital things like iPad or any other kind of a tab. You have to have physical printouts, and that is the reason why you will have to flag them. You cannot possibly use any digital technology.
That answers my question. Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was one more comment, I think, which talked about IRAC and a question mark right after that from someone. Yeah, it's from. Yeah, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. Alajal. So IRAC is issue, I is issue, R is rule, A is application, C is conclusion. This is the format NCA has specifically mentioned to answer, and this format is not only from NCA; it's being used widely in all Commonwealth countries and their universities. Even in Lisbon, where in my university they use IRAC format. So this is a very good format to answer questions which are fact patterns. So this way everything is structured. You first write the issue. You have to spot the issue from the question. Then you write the rule. Then you say, okay, for example, this is a conversation on, let's say, murder, or is it first degree, second degree, any other degree of murder, or whatever, any other degree of murder. You have to consider all the rules and say, okay, these are the relevant rules that we have to talk about. And then you move on the application. Then you say, okay, according to the facts of this case, in this scenario, so and so, and then you apply all the facts to the rule, and then you basically are, in that paragraph, you're talking about, okay, the rules are applicable in this fact, or no, this rule is not applicable in this fact, and then you do your, analysis. And then once your analysis is done, it's easy to conclude things, because when you look at a question, you feel like, oh, is this person going to have the charges applicable on him or not, or will no charges be applicable on him or not? Is it first degree, is it second degree, or whatever? When you do all these 3 steps in the paper itself, you will have a better idea that, okay, it's highly likely that this person will get the charges on them or whatever. So this is the format you have to follow. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. I'm guessing yes, because I covered it. Now moving on and coming back to the thing that I was mentioning about the preparation. Now in the exam you will have no time, and there will be 3 hours and 3. When I wrote my NCA, I had 4. I was lucky, but now they have reduced it to 3 hours again. In these 3 hours, time flies by like anything, like super fast. You'll feel like these 3 hours are probably just 1 hour. It's so fast because there's so much happening. Questions are very lengthy. You read the question reading itself takes sometimes 5 to 10 minutes. So it's a long long form answers that you're putting in. And if you're not preparing your IRACs, or if you're not using IRACs from any tutor like me, you will have a lot of trouble. Because imagine that, okay, a question has come, and I don't know, for example, it's like, let's say, defense of duress, or whatever. You feel like, oh, defense of duress, I know what duress is, but what is the rule? Can you write it without looking at any material? Maybe that's good, but then do you remember the case laws? Do you remember all the legal principles, elements that will come in? Possibly not, who knows. But having everything written down in front of you and quick access to it makes everything easy. So in that situation, when the question comes like that, you should have like a flagging system. Let me just access my model code. I don't have like all the material physically here in this one with me, but you have to have flags like this, so this is a model code, PR model code. I'm sorry, I'm showing this in a criminal law workshop, but you have to have flags like these, so you can easily look at, okay, this is duress, flip it over, and in the duress part, like in that section, you have to highlight everything down so that you can easily refer to the paragraph, the elements and everything that have to be written in the exam. So there are important defenses, there are important offenses, elements, and all of them are in your syllabus. So once you get onto the preparation, once you are doing the studies, so for example, let's say on offenses, each offense, each element, each thing that is being spoken of, be it regulatory offenses, objective, subjective mens rea, intentional or willful blindness, when you're reading through all these, you have to put flags on your material so you can easily refer to them during the exam, and you have to highlight them as well. It should not be a case that you have only flagged them and not highlighted them. Highlighting them with different colors will help you, like possibly highlighting them with, let's say, red. I don't know, my camera is getting stuck, but different colors like red, green will help you highlight. Understand also in the exam that, okay, if it's red, let's say you highlight this from a defense lawyer's point of view, because mostly you're going to be pretending to be a defense lawyer in the questions. So you say, okay, this is red, these are the things which will be against the respondents, and if this is green, this will be beneficial for the respondents, so or the accused, in this case, of course, criminal law. So these are some exam tricks you need to use. This way you can save a lot of time, energy, effort, and quickly answer your questions with confidence and move on, because okay, this was a relevant thing that I had to write. Nothing else I have to delve into or think about. I can just move on now and finish the answer, move to the next question. Now I asked somebody to have the criminal code physically with them in the class. I believe it was Amit who volunteered first. Amit, are you there here in the class?
Yeah, Achal, I'm here. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Amit. Good evening.
I believe there's some communication gap. I thought you'll be sharing some material with me, so that I had to assist you with that.
Oh, no. So, okay, never mind. There was another message.
Sorry, I couldn't interpret it properly.
No worries. Somebody else also messaged me that they also have the criminal code with them. Yes, John. Which criminal code do you have?
Okay, what I meant is your notes.
Okay, my notes. Never mind. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you a screenshot. I just figured I asked somebody to at least take a picture and show send me a page at least in case something goes completely off, which just went completely off. Let me just share my screen and show you guys a screenshot of how you can prepare things. I'll have to just give me 1 second, guys. Sometimes technology challenges you, sometimes it helps. Yeah. Okay. This is a page from the Canadian Criminal Code. I think it was, I don't know which version it is, but this is a student annotated version. You guys can see my screen, right? Hello?
Yeah, it's visible.
Perfect. So this is section 24. This is attempts. And in attempts, I have highlighted the elements of the offense, right? And there are case laws mentioned in it. Okay. Now there is defense also as a topic. Now once you have a question, let's say it talks about attempts, you have to there was a flag marked here which said attempts on the right. You simply look at attempts, you flip it over, you have the relevant section. The section is written. You don't have to write this part exactly in the paper as a rule, but you have to write an interpretation of it. So you say okay, now this is the relevant part, this is the money, the reason why you're spending the money on the criminal code. For a conviction of attempt to lie, the Crown must establish that the accused intended to commit the offence, second did fail, etc., etc. And then you talk about the actus reus, mens rea, and then these are the footnotes that are mentioned. So each, if you write, let's say this particular line, it's being referred from R versus Sorel. And if you are able to footnote these judgments, you have such a golden opportunity to score full marks in that paper. They will give you full marks, not for the, of course, whole paper, but that relevant part, like you, that this person, sorry, somebody's on, Sad, I'm putting you on mute, sorry. Yeah. So I'm just going to stop sharing the screen as well, because it's giving you an idea. If you are able to find the relevant case laws also from the commentaries, which may not be mentioned in the syllabus, it'll give you so much extra, confidence that at least you get full marks for the rule part of the thing. And these are important tricks. Now, you have to, when you're reading through your Canadian criminal law course, you have to keep your criminal code handy, so that you keep on marking it, flagging it, highlighting it during the things, and so that in the paper when it comes, you're prepared. Your criminal code is ready with flags, your notes are ready with flags, highlighted, everything, and everything is shareable. John, you raised a hand.
Yes, Achal. So when you say footnote, do you prefer to mention it as footnote, or do you prefer, or would it be best to mention it in the answer itself as per the case law, A versus B? This is the decision that has been taken, because I wrote my exam around 15 years ago back in India, and that is the way that I used to write it. We didn't have a footnote policy or footnote procedure for writing the exams when I was doing my LLB or master's, just say 15 years ago. So is it a footnote preferred, or is it just like mentioning it on the answer itself?
It's a good question. So normally you should be writing footnotes, as that's a global standard, but NCA, the software that you will be writing in will not allow you to have footnotes in it. So you have to mention them in the brackets right after the rule. So the question of writing footnotes is technically not allowed in the NCA.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
So there's a restriction. Saad, you have also written a comment on IRAC again. Is there a question you have for IRAC? If you have, just please write the question down in the commentary. I'm going to move on to the next question, which is from Preet. Everyone, are we supposed to just refer the case or explain the whole case law? No. So you cannot possibly get into explaining the whole case law, because explaining the whole case law requires analysis of that case also, the facts, the conclusion, etc., etc. You are only taking out the ratio, what was the legal principle set in the case, and anything else, facts, etc., are not relevant for your paper. So if it's duress, if it's whatever, even in the criminal code, when you read it, you will see that they are not mentioning any facts. They are talking about just the legal principle. In my IRACs also, I've done the same thing. So all the case laws that I've covered in my IRACs, when I'm writing the answer structures, I'm not talking about delving into any facts of the case. I am just talking about strictly what was the legal principle set by the court in that particular case and how it's applicable here, and that is done through the application. Yes, not a conclusion brief. In a nutshell, it is actually the ratio. It's the legal principle. Conclusion brief is what was the outcome of the case. But legal principle is that what the court decided as or interpreted the law to be, or did it set a test, or did it set a standard? I don't know. It could be from case to case. I hope that answers the thing. If you can write any other comments, yeah, perfect. Manpreet has mentioned from where we can get a criminal code. So again, these criminal codes are available online. There are three particular ones, which is Martin's, Practitioners, and Tremars. They are from different publications. All three are perfect. I personally use Practitioners during my exams, and if you're in Canada, it's easily available through Amazon or directly from these websites. If you're in India, there's a slight issue, or anywhere in the world, sorry, I just refer to India because I'm from India, but anywhere in the world, you may face some challenges because of shipping fees, etc., etc. So you have to look online, you have to find them on the relevant websites, try to order them well in advance so that it can come to you. A lot of people share them with each other as well, as secondary market kind of a situation where somebody buys and then resells the book. But please don't photocopy them. Please don't get into a whole copyright kind of a thing, because of course we are lawyers. We should be abiding through all the rules ourselves. Canada, I don't know from which jurisdictions you are, but Canada is really strict in with regards to how we conduct ourselves as lawyers, and if they feel like we are not doing the right things, if they catch us doing copyright infringements or whatever, they really can cancel our process. The entire process can be cancelled, and we will have to wait for 5 years or whatever to reapply, and they will do proper assessments. They're very strict in Canada. So refrain from doing all the illegal stuff, but you can find them online, and please only get the annotated student edition versions. Do not get the IRAC, which is available on Canadian government website, which is the source IRAC. Yeah. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about flags. Now, once you have flagged everything in the paper, when you have highlights, you can easily access everything from the exam. I think I've covered one section like that, but you have to have all your important defenses and offenses marked, their relevant sections, and there are offenses sections are not mentioned, like murder, dacoity, robbery, etc., etc. They don't mentioned in the syllabus, but you have to use some sense that okay, these are the most common kind of offenses that can come in the paper, and you have to highlight them. If you are using my notes, they are already done for you because I've prepared IRACs for you basis some offenses which are the most important ones. You can simply use those topics and highlight your criminal code with anything else you feel that may be important. So these are this is essentially the brief on how you should be preparing for your Canadian criminal law, and anything outside may be relevant for you for your future practice, but for NCA might not be. So focus on the syllabus, have your syllabus printed in front of you. You can always use tricks like if there's a case law, let's say Frey versus Fedruk, you can write next to it, this case was about this principle or this law, whatever. You have to use these creative ways to make your lives easy and everything accessible to you in whatever way you feel is best. I always tell people, like, prepare for an exam like you are arguing in court. When you go to court, I believe most of us have gone to court. Some of you who've just become lawyers might not, but if you go to court, you have a file, everything is highlighted, everything is flagged, organized. You have like a page which has an index of whatever you need to access. If a judge asks something, you immediately have an answer, jump to page so and so, jump to an extra so and so. That is the amount of organization you have to do for your material. So that's the thing. Saad has asked a question. Please tell me demo questions in criminal exam. Saad, there's an entire syllabus sample paper which is available on NCA's official website. So you can go and check their outlines, exam outlines, and there is, like, on the side they have a sample paper, like where you're seeing the syllabus. On the side there's a sample paper, and I'll actually just drop a link so you can access it. And once you're done with, so there's no point reading those papers right now if you haven't prepared for your if you not finish your material, because it'll be right now it'll feel like, oh, what is this, I'm so confused. But yeah, I'm just gonna drop the link in the chat. Once you've done the whole preparation, once you've read it, then these questions will make sense to you, along with the IRACs you will have. So that is that. Preet also asked another question. Anything in hard copy can be used in the exams and nothing in soft copy version, correct? Yes, you can take anything. You can take a comic book if you want. They will not question what material you are carrying. But the thing is that it has to be physical. You can carry, so I used to sit with all my material. I used to sit with my constitutional law, criminal law, PR, everything in the paper. Like, I used to have a tower of books or notes or whatever, because I personally was not guided by anybody. So I was not sure what kind of questions can come. So I was ready with everything. And in your cases, you can also take everything physical, but nothing digital is allowed. And if you're wondering how the exam will be done, you will have the exam on a laptop. Your webcam will be viewing you from the front, and they will ask you to put a camera, like a phone, like behind you somewhere, which will be looking at you from the back, and which will be looking at the screen, that what is happening on the screen. So, and you will be required to show your identity in the paper so that they can verify you. And both cameras should be on through the 3 hours. And if there's any question conversation, you can always talk to the examiner through the phone, which will be set up behind you, because there will be like a Google Meet meeting, or I don't remember which software, but some meeting will be happening in that thing where the examiner will be conversing with you if you have any questions, doubts, concerns, if you want to leave for a washroom break or whatever. And the room should be closed. There should be no obstructions. No, it should be silent. No, loud noises or whatever. People talking outside should not be there, and nobody can come in the room except you throughout the exam hour. So this is how you are sitting in the paper, and you can have endless material on your table. Nothing under the table hiding, nothing in the drawers, that you're opening drawers to access paper. Those things, avoid those things, because those things raise questions, and questions are very, scary when you're writing the paper. Any other questions, guys? I believe none. Oh, hi, Amit. Yes, please.
Yeah, hi again, Atil. I had searched for some material on the Amazon India, but they were not the latest version, like Criminal Code was 2018 or some other. So there might be some amendments subsequent to that. But is it worth going for those old editions or not?
So, no, I think going for an old edition is an issue, because if they are updating a syllabus and there are new case laws that have come which have overridden the previous case laws, then writing old irrelevant case laws will be detrimental for your analysis, exam assessment. So instead of going to Amazon, go to their official websites. Thomson Reuters is one of them. Then there is, I believe, one more, forgetting the names, but of the publishers. But go to their official websites and order from there, and you can get them shipped globally. I think one of them ships globally. There is one which also gives you an ebook, so you can immediately start preparing until the thing is delivered to your address. In case they are not delivering to India, you can use a friend in Canada. You can team up with somebody on the call, find some make friends with somebody here and order the book at their place, and then pay them the money for shipping it to India. So there are always ways to go around it. So maybe you can do something like that.
So like Lexis was giving in the PDF format also. There are 2023 and 4 versions. And so it's permissible to print those PDFs and then take it as a hard copy?
Legally, it's not, because that's a copyright infringement. So
even if we are the lawful purchaser of the PDF format?
You can ask a permission from them. See, the thing is that
Okay.
The copyright laws don't allow you to reproduce the thing on a piece of paper, right? And it will say, the ebook will say on the face of it that you're not allowed to do it. But you can always ask the permission of a publisher, saying that I have my exam, can I print it for the purpose, and then I will destroy this after. And if they give you permission, you can always do that. But it's a gray space.
Yeah, it's hard not to crack accordingly. I believe they won't so simply say yes to everybody.
Yeah, the thing is that, as lawyers, we should not be doing all this, because at the end of the day, we are the enforcers of law. And we are...
That you want to just to know whether to invest on the PDF or not, or simply go for a hard version directly.
Yeah. So normally, like, for example, if your book is getting delivered in 30 days, but you need to keep on preparing, it will be beneficial for you to get an ebook so that you can at least access it all the time while you're preparing, but until your book gets delivered. But if you feel like, I'm going to write the paper in February, whenever, it doesn't matter, then you can go for the cheaper or more affordable option. I personally prefer Practitioner's Code, because that's very nice. My second preference is Martin's. I haven't seen Tremar's myself. If anyone else has an opinion on that code, please go ahead and mention.
I've seen the traditional code only for Lexis. So they were providing for the ebook as well as the hard copy both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Somebody else also raised hand. I believe it was Nidhi or Palak who had the question.
Hi, Achal.
Hi,
Achal. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, sir. So actually, Amit asked my question.
Okay.
I also wanted to ask about that. Can we print that PDF version of annotated criminal code? But as you said, we should not do that. So I understand.
Legally, it's not a good idea to do it. If you, as a lawyer, I would never say yes to that, and I would urge you guys just to follow the right things. Even I personally have not seen a case where somebody's exams got cancelled because of copyright infringement, but highly likely there could have been a case. Like, if you go to a university in Canada with a book, which has been printed, the university will object, and if NCA finds out, they will also object. I don't know if, they see it from the camera, they may object. I don't know. That's a very, dangerous terrain. Yeah, it's a dangerous terrain to walk into. So might as well, Okay.
I don't want to take unnecessary tension.
For
I
sure.
understand.
As
Yeah,
see, things that
thank you.
people always do it, printing, all that stuff, it happens. It's a real world problem, and these enforcements are really strong for copyright. They have metadata, they have so many things. So enforcement of copyright law is also very strong. So no point putting your careers at risk.
Yeah, thank you, Ajit.
Welcome. John has asked another question if there's a word limit on questions. I don't think so there's a word limit on questions, but you need to restrict yourself at a word limit because you cannot endlessly write answers as long as you want, because it's a 3-hour paper. There's a limited number of questions, but those questions will require you to write and type a lot. And that is one more piece of advice. Start practicing typing. If you guys have a very fast typing speed, that's wonderful. You will do well. But if you type slow, please start typing and start typing legal words, NCA words. That way your muscle memory is typing, doing the job for you, and you can finish your paper faster. That is one very important thing you should start doing now only. The next question is, do we have any other kind of book? Please mention that. No, you do not need any other kind of book if you are getting my notes. If you are not getting my notes, I cannot comment on other people's notes, but you then need to look at the books that are mentioned in the syllabus. There are a few books mentioned which they are saying optional. You can skip them, but then the syllabus in its entirety refers to the Steve Cohen or Kent Roach and their relevant pages from time to time, different subjects, different topics. So those books then become obviously mandatory if you're not reading through my notes. So that is one, and then syllabus answers everything else. They are optional material, and then there are case laws. So again, if you're not taking my notes, then you have to also find relevant case laws, read them fully, take their legal ratio, understand the legal ratio, and then write it somewhere, save it somewhere, print it for your exam so that you can write it. And then those case laws become your responsibility, because every case law doesn't just talk about one legal principle. Case laws which reach to a Supreme Court level or a appellate court are not simple cases. They are complex ones. They have multiple legal principles being spoken, discussed, and then you have to figure out, okay, this case is relevant for this case law, or those are little complex situations. I hope that answers the question. The next is, how much time will be given by NCA for exams preparing after applying? You can finish you basically have 5 years to finish your 5 exams. So if you get assessment done right now, you can register for an exam anytime in the 5 years. This was the last update I have. You can check on the NCA website. Everything is available. These details, these pieces of information is available on NCA website in the FAQs. There's a FAQ section. You go there, you write there's a keyword, the keyword and those drop down menus, topics. You can always ask your questions in those spaces. Just type, preparation, the keywords that you just wrote. You will get your answers there in much more detail and in precise information than I can provide. So, but yeah, you have 5 years as per my last update. Could you please write down the name of the authors in the chat? I will do one thing better. I will give you the direct link of the syllabus, and the name of the authors are mentioned in the syllabus with the links and their versions. So instead of just writing the names, please look at the exact edition these guys have recommended. Oh, did the message not come? Okay, perfect. You can you get the relevant version. So right now, Steve Cohen has 8th edition. Kent Roach has 4th edition for the criminal procedure. Kent Roach has 8th edition. Now these are the most updated ones. And if you're writing paper maybe sometime next year, any other update comes, then you have to again get the most updated one. Palak, I'll come to you in a bit. Let me just answer Preet's question first. As NCA suggests to check updated syllabus only, if I have your notes only, are they enough as per 2023 syllabus and format? My notes right now are updated as per the latest syllabus updates. In case there are future updates that come, I will be keeping an eye out. Relevant updates will be updated in the syllabus. In case you're already have access to my PDFs, I will be emailing you the updated notes or the updated portions depending on the kind of updates that come. If they're minor updates, I'll just send the additional parts, and if they are major updates, then the whole notes get changed or partially get they changed, and I ship them off to you. The next question is, would be permitted to carry and refer to your notes? Yes, you will be permitted to carry any physical material in the paper, including my notes. No worries. Let me quickly take Palak's question first because she's raised her hands before these questions came in. Palak, please go ahead.
So I have two-part question. First one is, so I understand that the syllabus is limited, and also the judgment or whatever judgments they have listed out are sort of something that includes in the syllabus. However, they also give you the whole access to LexisNexis, etc. So there also I saw there was a lot of judgments that were uploaded. I'm not sure as to the relevance. So, do we need to have a lookout on the latest things that are coming up, and is it just doing something extra?
So,
And we can leave.
good question.
Do away
Good
with
question. Very good question. You can always have extra case laws with you. They will never give you negative marks for that. If something, let's say, hypothetically, you were writing something in January, criminal law, and there's a new case law that came out in December, and you use that case law for your paper, you will not get negative marks for sure. You'll get appreciated to use the most recent case law. But in case you don't mention it and you only restrict yourself to the syllabus, because there was no mention in the syllabus, if syllabus was limited, they will not also deduct your marks. They will not expect you to have the most latest knowledge of all the case laws in the paper, but that is recommended. As a lawyer, you should be informed, you should be well versed, but it's realistically not possible to have an idea of every case law and they're ready with you for the exam purpose, right? You would not know that the question will come from a certain topic or not. So you cannot possibly prepare or get case laws for everything. So that's why they will not deduct your pay numbers or expect you to have the latest case laws mentioned in the thing. Whatever is mentioned in the syllabus is important. Anything outside is optional as per your appetite to study and collect information and keep it ready.
Okay, so second question of mine is pretty much subjective. I know the answer is going to be very subjective. However, I'm still going to go ahead. If I were to study from your notes, I'm just getting a brief timelines for myself. So you think that it is humanly possible to sort of give the exams in February if I were to start today?
Yes, subjectively speaking, if you have enough time, yes, why not? If you are giving only an hour a day, I don't know, maybe difficult, but normally it takes about a month to two only to finish one exam, one topic. Sometimes people can do multiple. I've seen people study all five. And right now they have changed the system of answering the paper, taking the papers monthly, and they are doing only 2 subjects or 3 subjects per month. But in the previous few years ago, they used to do all 5 papers in 1 month, and then 3 months later all 5 papers. So at that time, people used to write all 5 in one go. They used to say, I'll study at one time and I'll just get it over with. So those were the days when people were writing all 5 papers together. So it's all possible as long as you're preparing well and you're giving enough time. And February, there's enough time for February. There are 2 months, so you can definitely do at least 2 papers together. And having said that, my recommendation to everyone, and all the time I say this, if you have not given your first paper should be constitutional law, because that comes everywhere. You guys open your criminal law syllabus, you will see charter being mentioned, you will see constitutional law coming into this paper. You open your administrative law syllabus, you will see flavor of constitutional law in that. You open your foundation syllabus, you will see constitutional law there. And if you don't do constitutional law first and you do everything else, you will be like, what is this principle about? This is not there. This should not be normally done in India or in Pakistan or wherever, in America. This is not the thing. And then you'll start comparing things to your own legal knowledge, and then you'll be confused. So start with constitutional law, jump to other stuff then. That's one more piece.
So by that logic, should I be ending with foundation? Like, should the last paper of mine be foundation?
I personally wrote foundations. No, I personally wrote PR in the end. Foundations was, I wrote foundations with criminal law because I found foundations really boring. And my favorite was criminal law because I was a criminal lawyer back in India. So you can merge, make a check and balance of what you want to write with what. But start with constitutional law, maybe take up criminal law with it. Because it's easier. Then you can do PR and admin, foundation and admin together, and then in the end you can finish with PR.
Okay, I just have one last question.
Please go ahead.
So if I'm short on time and I do want to attempt a question and I might not be able to finish my whole IRAC, so is there something that I can just sort of a shortcut which would still fetch me some marks and I can
Yeah, you can
hustle
always
through.
always do that. You can always quickly mention the rule, do a analysis, but application, but not detailed, and you can like quickly apply it. Like instead of in putting the effort of explaining everything beautifully, just say, okay, in my opinion, this is not what I said, applicable. This is happening or not happening, and then you conclude simply in a line, and try to always give a conclusion. If you are not able to finish the application, at least give the conclusion, and your conclusion should be in degrees, ideally, unless the answer is very clear that charges will be applicable or not. Say highly likely applicable, unlikely, most likely. So give degrees in your
Okay.
conclusions, and you should get marks. So for example, if you give a conclusion, and so you get some marks of it. If you skip the conclusion, you get no marks. So things you can manage.
All right. Thank you so much.
No worries, you're welcome. All right, coming back to the comments in the chat. I answered. Okay, yeah. So Alajal has mentioned exams should be attempted by typing. Yes, exams are required to be typed. They are digital format. I'm not sure if there are anybody in the chat who has some physical disability. You can always reach out to NCA, and they will assign you some sort of exception. Maybe they will let you, somebody broke a hand or finger or whatever. They can always help you with that. So there are some accommodations. There's a thing called accommodation, if I'm not wrong. They call it accommodation. They will accommodate you with some sort of exception. So that is upon NCA to decide. I will not have any information on that. Next is, do we also need to study Supreme Court judgments? Yes, there are some Supreme Court judgments already mentioned in the syllabus, and you have to study them. If there are judgments from appeal courts, you have to study them. At the end of the day, any judgment that is mentioned in the syllabus is very important for you. If there are other judgments that are mentioned in my notes, they are also important because they might have been mentioned in the relevant pages between the syllabus, where it says, okay, so and so topic from Steve Cohen's book from so and so. So if they have covered some judgments, I have covered them, so I haven't skipped anything. Those are the things that you need to study. Next question is, the case laws you mentioned in your notes are enough? Yes, my notes cover everything in terms of what is mentioned in the syllabus, and they are more than enough. I have done a little bit extra as well, which is completely relevant to the topics that is mentioned in the syllabus. So that will be absolutely fine. If you want to do more, if you want to bring in more case laws with regards to the topics that are mentioned in the syllabus, please feel free to do so. It's always beneficial to add extra cases, or that just ensures and tells the examiner that this person was actually prepared and knows what they're doing. So it's always nice. It's not like I'm saying don't do it, but do it carefully. Don't overdo it, because that will not be helpful. Because if you have too much in the paper to refer to, then you might not be able to complete only. So important principles, important cases, landmark cases, those are the things you should focus on. Sidra is mentioning, can you please mention the details on how we can purchase your notes? So, and Saad also the same question. So my notes are available on my website, which is crackncaexams.com. Let me just put a link here. Sorry, just 1 second. I was not ready for this question. Yeah, so my notes are available on crackncaexams.com. If you are in India, you can purchase there directly. If you're out of India, you'll have to have a chat with me directly, because I am facing some payment gateway issues with international payments. The Indian government is not really helping me. The RBI folks are really strict. I don't know, for some reason they are blocking international payments. So I am accepting payments through PayPal, and you can just transfer the relevant amount of the notes, whatever you're getting, the whole bundle or not, or single notes, whatever. You can just transfer me it on PayPal, and I will immediately email the notes to you. So that is totally possible. And which brings me to mention that I have brought back the discount of bundle, because I felt like a lot of people wanted discounts, and even after reducing the discount, removing the discount, people kept on asking for it. So I felt like maybe that is the price which everyone is happy with. So I've bought back the bundle discount, so you can use bundle in capital on the discount part, and it cuts the discount to 40% if you take all four. Then there is Amit asking another question. Could you please guide a bit about CPLED and legal research and writing? So Amit, this is a thing that they have just introduced maybe last year, and I personally did not write it. And whatever I've studied about it, it is something that no tutor will be helping you with, or should not be helping you with. If somebody is, they are possibly cheating you, because this is a course module. These guys are gonna take you through it. There is nobody else who can give you like a class on it. If somebody else is already teaching you, you should be able to just manage it with them directly instead of taking help from other tutors and paying them for that. So that's the reason why I'm not even getting into it. I'm not charging or asking money for this bit. It'll be really unethical for any person to do that. So and again, it's everything is mentioned on the NCA website, so please go through it. And it's pretty detailed. They will do a course with you, and that's it. I think it used to be, CPLED used to be a thing that lawyers used to do, to do their some sort of a requirement in for lawyers, that they have to do some sort of hours of training every year. This used to be that bit, but they have bought it before, so that lawyers get training before they become lawyers in Canada. So this is the purpose of this course. Palak, does the syllabus change every year, some particular month, or it's random? It's actually random. If there's a major change in certain law, it can change at that time. If there are no changes, sometimes it doesn't change for years. So yeah, it's a very random thing. How much you have to pay for your notes? So my notes are considerably super cheap. Like, I don't know anyone else who's charging as less as this, but it doesn't mean that quality is not good. I think my quality is the best. So I've kept these at a very affordable cost now, and I've just told the bundle discount about 40% off from whatever the cost is mentioned. Yeah, I can tell you in INR, if you take the whole bundle, it costs about 13,000 rupees. If you take the whole bundle and I give you an equivalent amount in euros, it is I think 220 euros or something like that. I'm not sure. You can do the maths. You go to the website, put all the 5 notes in the cart. You will apply the code bundle. You will see the total amount that comes in from wherever you are. If you are not in India, you can always convert it and just reach out to me, and we can have a chat that if what amount you will be transferring me on the PayPal thing. Separate from the topic of the day, are you practicing lawyer in Canada? No, Sidra, I am in Lisbon right now. I am doing my master's here on a scholarship, a partial scholarship at least, and I do not know what my plans are for the next year as well, because I might be doing an additional semester somewhere abroad, maybe in US, maybe, I don't know, somewhere, big universities, big questions, for me as well, I don't know. I was not able to write my barrister exam because it got cancelled due to some issues with some other tutor discussing previous year's questions. I'm not going to name names. It's also unethical to do so. But my exam got cancelled before I could write it, one day before. And to write barrister solicitor in exams in Canada, you have to be in Canada physically. And personally, it doesn't make sense to me to spend so much money to go and just write papers to get the tag. When I'll move to Canada eventually in a year or so, I will write it then. So I'm in no hurry. Yeah. Is it majorly same to our CRPC exams? No, Saad. I'm not aware about your CRPC exams. I don't know where you're from. So no idea. I believe it is not. The CRPC process is pretty much more specific to how trials work, how etc. things work. Of course, there are topics that cover the CRPC things in NCA as well, but they have mentioned the things they want to cover specifically. CRPC is a very vast topic. The code itself is so thick, it's impossible to cover every procedure in NCA exams. You have to restrict yourself to the syllabus. Nidhi has mentioned, I agree with Achal. I bought his notes and are really helpful. Thank you, Nidhi, for the kind words. Appreciate it, really. These are the comments that keep me motivated and keep me going. Next one is Aisha, with NCA qualified, can anyone practice in UK? No. NCA is Canada. UK is a very different jurisdiction. UK laws are different. It's a very good question. Probably in a couple of weeks, you and I can have a chat offline about UK, because I'm also doing a research about UK itself, because I might do my additional semester at King's if they accept me. I don't know. I will apply at least. I don't even know if I can apply. I'm sorry. Let's see. The next one is Saad is from Pakistan. So Saad, I would have no information on how CRPC exams happen in Pakistan. So I'm sorry, I cannot answer this one. But I'm assuming it will be different because the laws are different, the process is different, the procedures are different, everything is different. So and as I mentioned, whatever is mentioned in the syllabus is what you have to focus on. So stop for a moment, think about NCA only and prepare about NCA only. If you want to do extra, then get the CRPC with you, and when you start practicing, you will start learning about it. That's that. All right, I think I've answered all the comments. Anyone else? Please, now is the time. We have only 3 minutes left for this call. Amit, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi Akhil again. Akhil, one small query. Like I did my CA and we used to clear all the 4 exams in one shot. Otherwise, if we fail in one, we have to repeat in all. So is the pattern with the NCA also same or?
No. You have 5 different. No, you can write papers whenever. If, for example, hypothetically, you fail one, and I hope you don't. In case you buy my notes, you won't. I hope. You can rewrite that one particular paper. You don't have to write all of them together.
So the basic qualifying marks for all the exams are there?
It's 50-50, I believe. It's pass-fail. They don't give you a number. They don't give you a score.
So once we clear, say, unfortunately 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, so only 1 is left or 2 is left accordingly for the next attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's very valuable.
You're welcome. Vaibhav, please go ahead.
Hello, good evening, sir. Actually, I am in my first year of law right now. I am pursuing 3-year law degree. So I am confused about NCA that I have asked certain people. They are saying that you will get your degree accessed by NCA, then you will get to know which exams you are going to write.
Right.
So my main aim is to go and practice in Canada. So if I would know that, what are the compulsory subjects, like the subjects which all of the people who apply for NCA get, so I can prepare them in advance.
So the 5 papers that I am providing are the mandatory papers. Everyone has to write them, irrespective of which jurisdiction they are coming from. So Canadian constitutional law, criminal law, administrative law, foundations of Canadian law, and professional responsibility. These are the 5 papers that are mandatory. Some get 6, 7, 8, and depends on completely subjective reasons why they get it. That's it.
And I was thinking of buying the notes prior, like there are 3 years left to complete my degree. So someone was saying that your notes will be outdated because...
Sorry to cut you, Weber. The call is about to end. I can see the timer. So... Yes, please, Vaibhav. We can continue the question. You were asking if the notes, right? What were you saying? Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
I was saying that should I buy the notes now, because some people were saying your notes will be outdated because after 3 years you don't know what will be.
Precisely. No, they're right. They're right about it. See, the thing is that the updates will definitely come in law. Law is like a living tree, right? It grows, and we don't know if whatever we are studying is how applicable it will be in 3 years. But and I think everyone on this call will agree it cannot completely change unless Canada from a democracy becomes a capitalist, whatever, a different kind of a country. And I don't think that's happening anytime soon. So, or ever, probably, hopefully we all live in peace. But if there are minor changes in the updates, you can always study and change it. But I think if you're in first year, honestly, it's too early for you to start preparing. Maybe focus on your LLB first, and in the last 6 months you can start preparing, because in 3 years you might end up forgetting stuff also and mixing Indian law with Canadian law. So ideally you should focus on your Indian law that you're studying right now, and then do your NC. And I don't know, I'm asking this question to you. If you're in your first year and you're sure you want to practice law in Canada, why not you do your LLB from Canada itself, like right now? That will be a better
So
choice.
I have inquired about it and I have researched a bit. So there's LSAT there, and I'm unable to see how to apply LSAT and all, and it will be very expensive too.
Oh, the cost is a considerable factor for sure. That is LLB is expensive. So in case you want to
Actually,
take this approach,
like after doing my LLB, I will apply for LLM there and will do NCA from there.
okay, that's a good strategy. So in that case, I would recommend you can wait for some time to start studying for NCA, because there's no point studying 2 years. You can actually, if you're really interested in studying, you can. It's completely on you. I personally would have waited for the last year to kick off my NCA studies, at least, so that I'm whatever I study for the exams, I can retain it for the exams and not forget it. Or maybe spend a considerable time just to remember it again. So depends on completely your personal capabilities and skills of how you want to approach it.
Any piece of advice you would like to give that I should stop researching about NCA for right now?
If you are
for
in
a
your
period
first
of-
year, you have 2 more years to go, Vaibhav. So maybe if you want to really study, you can definitely take the notes from me and study. And whenever you are close to your exams, you can reach out back to me. I will give you the most latest updated version that time, because I plan to continue doing this. I really like apparently teaching people and studying with them. So I think this is maybe my passion. I don't know. I've just discovered it. So in 3 years' time, when you are ready to write your papers, you can seek your updated version from me with no extra cost. So you just can simply get the updated PDF mailed to you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Another question is from Simrandeep, sorry. Sir, I want to know how can I send my other documents to NCA for evaluation, and what documents I should send, as my university is going to send transcripts directly. Yes, so when you register on NCA Legal, when you put all the information that they are seeking, at the end, when you submit it, they give you a list of documents that they are seeking from you, that you should be emailing. Sorry, not emailing, couriering them directly from the university. I think the transcripts is one. The another one is the certificate of good standing that they ask from your local bar or the state bar. You have to get these both, and if you have multiple graduations, then you have to send that as well, in case you are adding it in your NCA. You have to send these things directly from the university. You should not be handling them. They should be in a sealed, stamped envelope. So you have to inform your university that the receiver is expecting it to be sealed, stamped, and sent from the university directly. Yeah, that's that. Any other questions, guys? Sir, at what stage we have to submit IELTS score at the time of NCA assessment? This is a very good question, and honestly, I don't have an answer for this, because I honestly don't even know any single person who had to give their IELTS to NCA. Is anyone on this group on this call who can share this experience? Because NCA does ask for English proficiency, but if you've studied your law in English, they don't ask for it. Like, they've never asked me, and in my profile, it says that English proficiency is not required when I checked it. So I don't know if anyone else from any other country are being asked. Amit, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. I got my NCA registration last year itself, and they just checked the medium of language which I used in my university in the post-graduation. So that was English in all subjects. So they didn't ask for the IELTS.
Precisely. Same with me. So,
And one more thing, I just bought the bundle. You must have got the message. So I look forward to the material now.
I'm sorry, where have you messaged me?
No, I just, through your website, I just got that bundle. So look forward to get the material now. This is very valuable session for me. At least my vision is now clear, which I was totally Googling everything on the net.
Okay, super. So yeah, I've got the thing. You will get an email with the material. So please check your mail.
No,
The
thank
notes.
you. Just wanted to update you. Take your time. But now at least this session, I'm totally clear what exactly I'm looking for. Otherwise, I was totally Googling for months and months and I couldn't reach anywhere, to be honest.
No worries.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you for attending this session with me, Amit. If you have any questions also, you can always reach out to me. In case I don't pick up the phone because of the odd hours, just message me and I'll get back to you in 24 hours.
Sure. We'll coordinate mutually. I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. I think others have also confirmed the same thing about they don't ask for IELTS. And in case they're asking you, please, confirm to them, tell the NCA that you have studied law and English and your, education has been in English, and they will waive it off. Basically, they want to check if you have the English skills to, enough English, enough English to study law. And if you have, studied law in English, then they waive it off. Juhi has message, hello, Mr. Discussion on Criminal Law. Can I please access the recorded sessions? Yes, Juhi, after the call, probably in a couple of hours, I'll be uploading it on YouTube and I will share the link on the group so you can attend the whole session through there. And if you have questions, you can always put it on the group so everyone can see the question and its answer. You're welcome, Juhi. Any other questions before we end the call?
Sorry to interrupt again. Actually, I've seen the exam schedule for 24, and this month-wise schedule is the January this, February this. So we need to register all together at one set initially?
No.
Last date of registration is different.
No. You have to register for your respective exam before the registration date for that month. That's it. So you can choose to write one or two or five, whatever your appetite is. I would not recommend writing all 5 in 1 month if they are taking that. So mentally
spread over a number of months.
Now they have done that. So you can choose whichever in the order you want to do, and you can, before each month's deadline, you have to just register that.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. I am watching your videos on YouTube to prepare for the exams. Is watching your YouTube videos on YouTube enough for the preparation? No, just the videos are not going to be enough. Like I mentioned, I don't know if you were in the whole call. There is going to be a lot of reference to physical materials that you have to do in the exams. So from your criminal code to your notes to your IRACs to your case laws, everything has to be referred to. You cannot possibly, and I don't think anyone can possibly remember everything. So you have to have your written material in your hands physically on paper during the paper. So you have to refer to them, write laws, case laws, etc. If you've missed the session, then you can see the video which will be uploaded today, and then you will have a concrete answer to this question with examples that I've also shown. Neha saying thank you. You're welcome, Neha, and thank you for being a part of the community. I really appreciate it. Notes by thank you. Jyoti is asking a question. Tell us about the LPP. What is LPP, Jyoti? Can you please unmute and mention? I don't know what abbreviation this is. Law Practice Program. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so sorry. I'm not aware about LPP. Maybe you can send a link on the group from wherever you're referring it, and I can have a quick reading about it. Maybe I'm not able to remember or connect it. LPP is required. So depends on jurisdiction to jurisdiction. What is the process? Some provinces are requiring you to do certain like that. Some provinces are requiring you to do articling first and then write your barrister solicitor. Some are saying before, after. These matter from province to province. Some provinces allow you to take an exception from articling because you have relevant experience and you just have to write barrister solicitor. Totally depends on the province that you're applying. So as far as I remember, in Ontario, you can apply for an exception. They will ask you to write some letters of recommendation and experience letters from your previous employers stating that yes, this person has done this work. They also will ask you for specific information with regards to case laws. So in case you're applying for an exception for articling, do ask your respective law society that what all information does it require to be covered, because if you just get something made by yourself, chances are they will say no, this information is missing, get it again, and then reaching out to your old boss in India and getting a new signature done may be complex or may not be so feasible for everyone. So you should look at your respective province and then apply. And I really do not want to get into the barrister solicitor conversation on this call. We've already crossed almost 1 hour, 10 minutes, and I'm actually not the right person to also guide you for that, because I only applied for LSO in Ontario and I have information on that, which is also now old information because I applied 2 years back. Okay. Then there is another question about the original code book is expensive. My alternative, any alternatives to that? No, Joey, you will have to get these books for sure. Yeah, of course you can resell them later to recover some money, or share them with somebody in terms of doing exams one after another. Those are some alternatives you can always do without infringing any copyright laws that we spoke also about on the call, and you will see when you see the video. So do not print it, do not download a copy or illegal copy or something like that. Those are really serious infringements that NCA will hold against you if you're caught. Someone has a question, or someone has suggested me to do immigration course in Queen's University so that I can RICC license. Should I do that just to focus on my NCA and bar exam so I can be an immigration lawyer? These are career advices. I don't know if I should be giving this to you, because I myself am not established lawyer in Canada right now. So possibly reach out to people who have gone through these and understand from them what are the real implications after doing these courses, and maybe get different opinions from people. And these are all very subjective, luck-based approaches. People who might have license may get a job in the first month. People who might have license might not get a job in months. These are very, very subjective things, and depends on complete luck and the place you are at that time. But if you want to really be a lawyer, NCA is the way. If you want to just work, then there are lots of other things, not only RICC license. I think there's something related to securities which will get you jobs at banks or something like that. There are so those things come with these career counselors, and those are the right people to guide you for that, not me. Yeah, I think I've answered your question, Joey, already, and the one you asked before. Anyone else, guys? And then maybe we can end this call. Yes, please, Joey, go ahead. Was that by mistake? All right. Okay, then I think if there are any other questions, please feel free to write them on the group, and please, I request you to do your research before you write those questions on the group. I would really like to answer complex questions and not basic ones. Basic questions are already available on nca.legal, and they have their own FAQs. They have answered all possible questions that you can imagine, and there is something new, then we are all here to answer each other, help each other out. And please write on the group, and we can all contribute, helping each other. Yes, John, next session would be on the next, I believe, let's do, I don't know, professional responsibility. Why not? Because I only have that model code in my hand here physically. So let's do professional responsibility next Sunday, same time. See you guys. Thank you for attending this call. Bye bye. Thank you, Amit. Bye bye.